Love that tune.
Hey, we're back again. It's Tony Piccirillo from AV Rillo, and it's David Votta, president of ALA, and we're here today to change your lives. We're here to help property professionals in their work and their day. And today we're going to be talking about how to thrive in this economy. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, David, before we start, how's your week been? In a quick
short version, it's been an interesting week. You know, you get those weeks where you think, why am I doing this? Why don't I just get a job selling coconuts in the Bahamas, have a nice, easy life? Why am I putting myself through this stress and anxiety and frustration? So it's been a challenging week, Tony, but I've been doing my meditation. I've been doing my workout. I've been doing my brain training. I've been doing my cold showers. So I'm still going. I'm still here.
Gosh. Well, I've had a similar week as well. So I've been a good week. About putting in the time, getting all the good habits. Stop doing the bad habits. So today, David, we're going to be talking about, you know what the topic's about. It's about how to make more money. It's about how to make more money to thrive in this market. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what you're going to make. How are you going to get it? You're going to get the property on the right price, David, haven't you? You've got to get the property on the right price. How do you do that? What's your tactics to get there?
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people will be looking at this going, look, this is teaching me to suck eggs. We all do it. But, you know, we're in an age where a lot of people are kind of driven by the price of something, you know, whether it's the vendor, the landlord, whoever it might be, you know, the property down the road was marketed at this price. Okay, what did it sell for? What did it let for? What's the reality? So a lot of agents, you know, they're up against each other. That agent said it's worth that amount, and that said it's a difficult one because it is a price war, isn't it? So for me, again, as a property professional, it's got to be priced right. You know, you've got your comparable markets, you do the job for so long, you understand what's going on, but also what you've got to factor in is what's happening in the market. Is it dipping ever so slightly? Is it going up? So you've just got to pay attention. So it's not a hard thing to do. I think it's overcomplicated, Tony, really.
Yeah, David, I think you're absolutely right. The fact is you've got to get the property on the right price. Otherwise, it doesn't sell. You can't service your clients. You have lots of unhappy people that can't sell the property, can't let the property because it's on for too high. I think it's about the same old thing. Get motivated buyers on, get motivated sellers on, get the motivated landlords, and that's where you really make your money in this sort of market because it is a tough market. So the next thing I want to speak about, David, it's about commission. You know, commission. What's an average commission would you say for let only and full management nowadays around the country?
For lettings, yeah. Well, it's kind of, you've got to imagine, you know, agent management fees haven't really gone up. When I started years ago, you know, we were charging around 12%, 12 and 15%. It's not really gone up that much, you know, and a lot of landlords will be of the perception, well, the more rent the agent gets, for me, the higher the percentage. But it doesn't really work like that because that doesn't really factor in our overheads as a business, our costs. So, you know, I think average, it is around 12% average plus VAT. Yep. However, you know, there's hardly any landlords. I say hardly any. There's not as many. You know, if you look at stats, there's over 250,000 properties that have left the private rented sector since I think 2017, which was a Office of National Statistics stat. So a lot of people are fighting to get these landlords. So sometimes you've got agents going out offering ridiculous fees that you think, actually, I can't do that. But one, my business can't survive on that little amount of money if we were to do that across the board. And two, what kind of service is that client going to get? And we're now, in lettings especially, you need an agent more so now than you've ever needed an agent. You know, you've got all the regulations and legislation, and you've got with that comes a level of expertise. And you can't expect these landlords to do it on their own.
David, you're going to come into my next slide. I'm going to do a slide in a second. But
no,
for sales,
a slide. Where you're giving us a slide?
I've got two slides. I've got two slides for you guys, right? It's a special treat. But EA Masters' latest research says average fees for sales 1%. Now, obviously, prices have generally gone up, but it's still 1%. It's still low, but good agents, just a little bit extra. That's where you make your money. It's charging that a little bit extra. So I want to ask you a quick question, right? Why do you think people, I want to ask myself a rhetorical question, why do people ask about commission? Is that what you're charging? Well, I tell you why that is, because they don't know what else to ask. They're not, you know, we know about our industry. And when people say how much you charge, we think what they're saying is, can you reduce your price? But literally, they're asking
the question.
They're asking, what are you charging? What else have they got? They think we all do the same thing. So it's our job to actually distinguish ourselves and say, look, actually, we provide value. This is what we do, X, Y, and Z. It's our job to do that. And ultimately, it's about taking responsibility and not just blaming the market and not just blaming, we're too cheap. Well, let's do something about it. And that David, now that goes on to my next slide. Let me get this slide up here now. There's three things that people want in life, okay? They want a good service, they want a fast service, and they want a cheap service, right? So this slide shows you can only have two of those things. Yeah, you can have good and fast. Okay, it's good and fast, but it won't be cheap.
I like this. This is
right.
Nice.
This is it. This is it. Where we provide value, David.
Can I screenshot? Or are you going to send it to me? I want this.
Anyone that wants this, we can put our emails up. Just email us, and we'll give it to you. Okay, so you can have good and fast, but it's not cheap. You can have good and cheap, but it's not fast.
Yeah.
Okay, or you can have cheap and fast, but it's not good. Okay, so. What do you say? What the clients want? Well, they can only select two of those, right? So, reality is, in this sort of market, we all think we're all scrapping around for commission, and thinking we're going to do cheap. It's not about doing it cheap, yeah, because it'll be slow if it's cheap, yeah, or it won't be good quality. So, I think what clients really want is, I think they want it good and they want it fast, but it won't be cheap. So it doesn't mean you charge extortionate amounts, but you can charge. I think you can charge more than the market. It's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. So I've got my second slide, which is this, and it's stated in a different format. Okay.
Yeah.
So we offer three types of service: so good, cheap, and fast. You can pick two, right? So it's a summary of what I just said, but I think we've got to get that into our brains. And the other thing we've got to get into our brains, Dave, did you know there's been some scientific research, right? And the scientific research is this. People will generally object to you and they'll find objections, but the more time you try to close, the lower their objections get. Okay, so the percentages are like this, they're kind of inverse. So the more times you ask, the more you're going to convert them. So what tends to happen in an average salesperson, as an order taker, David, is they'll try to close once, they'll try and ask for the business once. And the client says no, and the commission's not right. They'll give up. They're just like, okay, well that's your price. Okay, well let me see if I can just drop my price, right? But if you drop your price, you can't do a good service. So it's a matter of going through those objections. And they found that by the time you get to dealt with seven objections 7 times, you're almost going to get that client to come on with you. Almost guaranteed to get that client come on. And that's where you make your money in this sort of market, David, because it's those little bit extras that you have to do that makes the difference between good and average. Do you find that? What do you reckon about that?
Absolutely. And it's such an easy default, isn't it, to go, well, this is our fee, but I can do it for that, because you're automatically thinking, oh, well, the other way, just stand tall with it. And I had one, it was only like a room let recently, and she had me out and she wanted to rent the room. And I said, okay, this is our fee. It's a month's rent of the room, basically, because it's quite low anyway. We need sufficient income in order to deliver on our promise, right? So she then says, well, I've had 3 other agents say they'll do it for 2 weeks rent. I said, okay, well, there's always someone that can do it cheaper, but obviously you take this very seriously. You value the tenant we're going to find you. Why would you want to pay for a cheap version of what I can give you? I said, look, you don't have to use me. I can leave now. Thank you for the tea. It's been lovely to meet you. She's like, oh, no, please stay. So it's kind of like, once you execute that level of confidence, because you know what your ability is, you know how good you are, you know what the other competitors are doing, and you think, actually, no, I'm going to stay strong to my fee, because if I do low fees and lots of business, it waters down the quality. But if I do better fees, and then you can focus more comprehensively on the stuff you do. Like, we've only just relaunched our sales, right? And we only have about 10 available properties, and we've sold pretty much just over half of them already, and we listed them on Boxing Day. But we're focusing the energy and the quality on those 10 properties as opposed to 50 properties. I'm like, oh, I've got to ring them, I've got to get feedback, and they're chasing me. Don't want to be
you can have 1,000 overpriced properties. You can have loads of unhappy clients. What we said at the start, you can have loads of unhappy clients. They're not going to respect you, give you a bad name. You're not going to get repeat business. It's all about it's about the next thing I was going to say, David. It's all right getting property on, but I know you're very good at this, David. It's about actually getting the deal through, isn't it? So on lettings, you actually got to get the deal through. You got to, it's not a matter of just finding a tenant. You got to do all the referencing. David, what's that like at the moment? Is that a struggle for you?
It's the only struggle. I mean, letting property is not a struggle at the moment. It's getting it at the right price. Now, there's a lot of landlords out there that are still on the post-COVID price, which is up here still, but they've not adjusted it. Now, we've seen rents come down ever so slightly. You know, they are still strong. They are still going up, but they're leveling off a little bit, if that's not a complete oxymoron. So to let property is relatively easy. You put it out there, you get swamped.
But what about after you get the offer and it's accepted?
Well,
what about that process? How long does that take?
This can be done. I mean, we put stuff on, and within 2 weeks, we want viewings done, we want an offer on the table, and we want a target moving date. Now, what I'm finding is it's the process that you adopt. So, you know, you could advertise on any portal, whatever you want to do, get that property let, but it's just that process of, right, we've agreed to let, what's our process? Document everything, bang, bang, bang. So I've seen it, and I've built a process in my business where it's flawless. Like,
David, how long does it take? How long does it take? I'm a tenant.
Piece of string.
You're the landlord.
When do you want to move in by, Tony? You know, you've got viewing tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
You want to view in tomorrow? Right, okay. Well, let's start the referencing before you've even done the viewing. No, I'm joking. You wouldn't do that. You can get referencing turned over in around 48 hours. It all depends on the individual. Say, you know, you're working for a company and they've got a big HR department. It could take a while to get the referencing for your employer. If it's a small little independent, it could be done very, very quickly. So referencing depends on the individuals. We've had stuff turned around within an afternoon before, and that's
I mean, I used to, when I was an agent, I always used to give them a heads up, give the tenant a heads up and say, look, you've got to chase, if you really want this, you've got to chase the HR department, you've got to chase your last landlord.
Exactly.
You've got to deal with that.
You've got to put the effort in as well. Plus, also, you hire a third-party referencing company in most cases, so you pay them to get it done quickly. But a lot of people think, because you can get it done quickly, oh, well, that's cheap and fast, isn't it? No, it's the old phrase, you know, you're not paying me for the time, you're paying me for the years. So it's taking years to develop a process to get this working.
I've got a great story about that. Maybe we'll share another time. I tell you, you'll love that. But
we're going to go over. We're on 12 minutes already.
Come on. Let's try to hurry up. So let's talk about sales. Let's talk about sales. Exactly. Let's talk about sales, right? Sales in lettings, you've got it easy. Sales, average time to completion from offer is 5 months. That's almost half a year. So one of the things this year, if you want to make money, make sure the deals are getting through to completion. Make sure you got it. I know it sounds really easy, and this is my rant. It's called property rants and bants. What I want to rant about is, why is there not more collaboration between lawyers and estate agents? Why are we not working together to making the client's dream come true and getting them moved out their property? That's my rant. That's my rant for this week. That's it. But guys, it's all about getting the property on the right price, making sure you charge a good commission, what you deserve, making sure you deal with people's objections, be confident, stick to your prices, make sure your deals are going through. And the last thing I want to say, David, is you mentioned it earlier on. Our rewards for us, you get rewarded according to how big a solution you can give, right? So if you're not giving much solutions, you're not going to get a big reward. But if you're special, if you're doing something really, really good, and you're helping people move, and you're getting them a good property, like I know, David, you focus really high on customer service. Like I know you give good solutions, so you deserve a good payment for that, because you're you're giving big solutions. So that's what we're all about. We are a solution industry, aren't we? Property is a massive thing in the industry.
Huge.
So what do you think about that, David? You obviously speak to people about that. You tell them, look, I'm here to help you, because you said it with that lady, didn't you?
Yeah, and you'll reach hurdles all the time, and it's a case of not going, right, we're going to stop there, we're going to break through that. How can we get through this problem? You know, we got this, we got that. And a lot of things is we're so busy, we forget to prepare. And you know what they say is, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And that's a really big thing, because if you're not set up for things to, you know, like I say to customers now, I need you to fill out this property information questionnaire. It's very comprehensive, but I'm not putting your house on the market to sit on the market. I want it sold. I want that property sold. I want you moved. Financially, I want to be paid, but also I want to help you on your journey. And just be that honest and upfront. That's what I want to achieve for you.
I think that's what people want. I think people are looking for that. And nowadays they actually want that, don't they? I mean, that's why they come to you. We said it in another podcast we did, didn't we? People don't come to us for a laugh, although we're a great laugh, Dave. I mean, why would you not?
We're a right laugh. We have a lovely time.
But people do come to us to provide a service, and that's what we're about. So that's in our industry what we've got to do. Now, David, we're coming up to our 15 minutes now, so I think we're basically done. So, guys, anyone that wants to watch now, David and I, we try to do something special. So, really, what we want to do is we're going to put you to a challenge, right? So, anything that you think you need a expert to deal with, any questions you've got, you put it to us, and we see if we can deal with it, and see if you can catch us out. Try us. You got our email addresses below. Email us, and we see what we can do. And the other thing we're going to do for you is anyone that wants to subscribe and email us, we're going to send out motivational quotes once a week to you guys. So, and you can be motivated, and you can drive your business and drive and thrive in your life.
We love Mondays. Do we want to talk about what we're talking about in the next session? Do we want to give a little taster?
I tell you what we're going to talk about in the next session. What's been very popular is taking responsibility. We had an earlier one talk about that, but people have asked lots of questions about how can I improve myself? How can I make myself better? And it's all about taking responsibility. So we're going to talk about that in our next session. So
nice. That's a big one.
Goodbye for now. Thank you very much, everyone.
Cheerio.
See ya. Bye-bye.